Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Because what happened, according to the beekeeper, is when he picked up this tarp on the end, it shook down some of the bees that were on the inside of the tarp, plus a honeycomb that was starting to form. We've got a picture of that. And the bees weren't too happy. Neither was our feeder. He still hasn't come back down the hill yet. Let's take a look from a different angle, different camera. You should see him come running up from this side over here on the left side of the screen. There he goes. There he goes. It's like he's running in circles. He can't still be swarming on him. Man. I guess the bees followed him up there to the road. He's still hopping around. Holy cow. I know the sound of bees make me want to do that, but he encountered the bees, and I think later he said he counted about 6 bites or stings on him. And he's spinning around. I guess he's still looking for bees, trying to hear them. I put the sound of a bee up with a rattlesnake sound. Not a good thing to hear if you're by yourself. I know, work through the pain, work through the pain. You can do it. It's been over almost 2 minutes, and he's still hopping around. That's 2 minutes. Wow. Looks like he's thinking about, do I want to go back down next to that hay, or do I just want to go out of the fence gate here and go that way? Oh, he's going to go out the fence. That's the gate there. It's hard to see. Yeah, he said, I'm done with them bees. There's the black truck is his. Okay, this is the beekeeper that we call here in town, and was able to get out. That's David Bee Removal. Is the name of his company. It's local. And all he's wearing for protection is his headgear. He's got his pickup truck and drop cord, power cord, because he has a couple of vacuum, like a shop vacs, and he's looking, where the bees fell off the tarp down into the pallets, the wooden pallets that the hay's sitting on top of. I think he's looking for the queen. So he's just working on this end of the haystack. The haystack is underneath it, what looks white tarp. And he's kneeling on the wooden pallet. He took a still photo of what he found on one of those pallets when he lifted it up, with some bees had fallen down from the tarp into the wooden pallets, along with the beginnings of about a 3-inch diameter honeycomb. No honey in it because they just apparently got there yesterday. But it looks like a big rice check cereal. About the same consistency, it's lightweight. It's made out of wax. Perfect construction job. It's the mysteries of the bees. So what he's trying to do now is vacuum up, I guess, the leaders of the bees, or as much as he can determine. And then later he will put some kind of an ointment or an oil on the pallets and the tarp. It's not a repellent, but it sort of works like one. And he said probably a couple of days the bees will dissipate themselves. So if we have to go into the haystack, which we do every day, they'll just feed from the other end of the haystack and should be safe. These weren't the Africanized bees, so that's a good thing as well. They were more of the milder ones, but after watching how they attacked my feeder, they were pretty aggressive. And my feeder said that he actually got more than 6 stings that he thought at first were only 6, but it's like his whole back is covered like a fight with a porcupine. So no joke, he really took it. I know it could have been worse. It could have been a rattlesnake, because it is that season, that time of year where the rattlesnakes are, they come up from the valley down in El Centro. They come up from the valley on these big hay trucks, and you'll have rabbits, squirrels, scorpions, rattlesnakes, you name it. It comes in with those haystacks, and they end up here. Well, we're not the only one that's getting hay from the valley. There's a lot of ranches in this area, and there's not enough acreage to grow your own straw, so you're forced to buy it from the farmers. So he pretty much does this the whole time. short sleeve shirt, and just his bee catcher hat. Hopefully he knows what he's doing. That's where the bees were at. They were under the tarp. At first I thought they might have been on the ground or inside the wooden pallets. When the feeder lifted up that tarp that this beekeeper just did, you couldn't call him a beekeeper, call him a bee wrangler. The tarp was where the bees were actually attached to. And the bees then fell down. The ones that didn't fly after my feeder and attack him fell down to the ground in and around the pallets, and that's what this guy's doing right here. He's got a vacuum cleaner like a shop vac, and he's sucking up the ones he can see. This was at 10:30 in the morning, and he actually had been there since about 9:45, about 9:45. So overall, he spent about an hour here. You might ask, well, how much did it cost? Well, minimum was $225, and that's what we paid him. And he was happy with that. And I was happy to pay it. Because what are you going to do? Who are you going to do? Who are you going to call? A neighbor a year ago, 2 houses down from us, they had a large tree with a swarm of bees that decided they wanted to make that their home. And the neighbor could not locate a beekeeper or anybody that can come out. Pest control, they didn't want to mess with it. They said, call us somebody who handles bees. Oh yeah, who is that? Well, we don't know. So we just have to keep searching. Well, the neighbor just avoided the area in their yard. It was right in their front yard. It's a big tree, like a big eucalyptus tree, and it's a big old nest. It was either bees or wasps. I can't remember for sure. It was one of the two. But you're really at the mercy of Mother Nature on some of the stuff that happens on a ranch. Interesting here, he has that red bucket with the white top that's sitting on the wooden pallet. And if you look at the back of his pickup truck, right near his tailgate, there's a yellow colored looking thing. That's also another canister for his vacuum. Luckily, we're in the early part of June, so it's not 100 degrees out there, but it's probably high 80s. Maybe that's why he has a short sleeve shirt on. You know, he appears to be very thorough, and I think he was. Yeah, where do you see the photo he posted? He sent us a text of the bees clinging onto the bottom of one of these wooden pallets. Now he's pulling down the yellow. canister. At first glance at this, I thought he was using maybe the exhaust out of the pickup truck to make a gas like smoke. Yeah, maybe to calm the bees down like you've seen in the movies, TV. But nope. Yeah, it's time for a soda pop or water. He just took a swig. Well, I guess with all those ladders that he has on the top of his rack on his pickup truck, that he does some work up in trees and high eaves on houses. I guess this is a pretty easy job, relatively speaking, since it's on flat ground. It's out in the open, plenty of room to have his truck and his equipment next to him. So that's probably works out pretty good for him too. Now, he could have charged us way more than $225, and we'd pay it because our options are very limited on what we can do. We need the goats fed. Their feed, the hay, is underneath that white tarp next to the guy's pickup truck. So we're stuck. You know, pay me now or pay me later. So I was joyfully surprised that it was only $225. But my poor feeder, I feel sorry. He took the brunt of it. He was our early warning system on bees, and that's not a good thing. Yeah, it's getting near the end of this particular clip. We have some more to follow. Yeah, it's 10:25. This is the beekeeper. He's been out here since, I caught him probably about 15 minutes ago. Just starting, he was looking underneath some of the wood pallets that the hay's sitting on top of. And he was taking a break in his truck, and so I turned the camera off, or the recording off. So I want to stop at this point. Okay, I think he's back out there doing something. He's sitting there. He took his bee mask off. He's been there about 20 minutes. That almost looks like a shop vac, so maybe that is our electric cord going up and over the fence. Could be. But he lifted a couple of these wooden pallets up to look underneath. He was underneath the tarp in the beginning of the hay. There's hay underneath this tarp. This white thing is a big tarp. And then at the end of it is a blue tarp. So my feeder yesterday was out here trying to get some more hay for the hay carts, these two green things right here. Little hand carts, put the hay on. And he got startled and ran like crazy. And he still got about 6 bee stings from underneath the tarp here, trying to get the hay. So then we called the beekeeper, and Wife had that phone number for some reason. And the guy said, okay, I'll be out tomorrow. This is less than 24 hours. This is the next day. And he's obviously doing something. He doesn't have his headgear on anymore. So that's a good sign. I guess he's looking for the queen, because if he can capture the queen, then the rest of them won't have any guidance. Won't smell the hormones or whatever. And today is June 24th, 2019. It's at 10:33. I think that must be like a shop vac. Well, if he's done and he's getting ready to pack everything up, and he was successful, that was under a half hour from the time he got to the property. Or at least from the time that I noticed he was on the property. I don't know how long he had been here when I first noticed him on the security camera. So I think when I first noticed him here, it was about 10 after the hour. Let me go back through the replay. There we go. Oh, he was there at 10 o'clock. 10:02. Okay, let's go back to 9:45. 9:46. Now he was there at 9:46. Oh, okay. That's his electric line. And there's our church helpers. Okay, so it's his electric line. Okay, so let's go real time again. I'll put a slide in here. I just got a text with a photograph of what he found underneath the wooden pallets. Big hive of bees. I mean, a big hive. Oh, he's getting his electric cord now. Okay, it's 10:40. So he was here about 9:45. So about an hour. Okay, he reeled up his electric cord. Okay, let's take a look at the picture he sent. Okay, here's the pallet. You can see the hay and the bees. Yep, there be bees. I wonder if this is like a tip of the iceberg. They almost look like a wasp. Okay, there he goes, the bee guy, $225. They're not the African ones. And
they had just started to build the honeycombs. He brought me a piece of it to share. But they'll be just as oriented when they don't find the hive.
Yeah, it looks like a muffin is.
Yep.
They haven't even put any honey in it yet.
Not yet.
Just the wax for the honeycomb from the bees. Wow. So I just hope the rest of them take off and doesn't sting anybody. Honeycomb. That was what was underneath the pallet. Just underneath the tarp, just starting to form. They were getting ready to move in.